Hi, I'm Brendan Murphy, and today I'll be presenting my work on detecting deepfake videos in conferencing scenarios. This research addresses an emerging security threat as real-time face swapping technologies become increasingly sophisticated and easy to use. The rise of platforms like Zoom has created new vulnerabilities to deepfake attacks, particularly through advances in real-time face swapping technologies like Deep Live Cam. While traditional deepfake detection models perform well in controlled environments, they often struggle with unique challenges presented by video conferencing platforms, namely compression, variable lighting, and inconsistent video quality. My system processes video in 32 frame clips at 224 by 224 pixels using a modified version of the AltFreezing model. This combines an inflated 3D CNN with a transformer to capture both spatial and temporal features. The model is specifically designed to detect artifacts and inconsistencies introduced by the Deep Live Cam face swapping method, which represents a significant threat in video conferencing scenarios. I worked through three distinct collections, each serving a specific purpose in my research. First, I modified a subset of the face forensics dataset using Deep Live Cam to create what I call the FFDLC dataset. This contains 120 videos split between training and validation, providing about 4,500 clips of high-quality manipulated content. The key advantage of this dataset is that it preserves consistent lighting and framing while introducing identity manipulation artifacts and is easy to scale into a larger dataset. Second, and more importantly, I curated my own Zoom Deep Live Cam dataset specifically for video conferencing scenarios. This consists of 114 videos with 48 for training, 66 for evaluation, yielding approximately 4,300 clips. What makes this dataset unique is that it incorporates real-world challenges like compression artifacts, lighting variations, and resolution inconsistencies. These videos were manipulated using Deep Live Cam to simulate actual impersonation attempts under realistic conditions. The third dataset I use is celebrity deepfakes. This serves as an external benchmark. While the original dataset contains over 5,000 videos, I use a carefully selected subset of 100 videos balanced between real and manipulated to evaluate my model's ability to generalize to high-quality deepfake content outside of my specific domain. I implemented two distinct fine-tuning strategies. The first, gradual unfreezing, incrementally unfreezes backbone layers to balance utilizing pre-trained features while adapting to domain-specific characteristics. The second method, the alternate freezing method, switches between updating spatial and temporal parameters to enforce learning both types of features. If you look at the training curves, you can see some clear patterns. The FFDLC dataset shows high initial accuracy, but minimal improvement during training, suggesting that the model's pre-training on similar data limited further learning. This is the case because the AltFreezing model was pre-trained on face forensics under different manipulation methods, not the new Deep Live Cam method. In contrast, my Zoom dataset shows significant gains in both accuracy and loss reduction, demonstrating effective domain-specific fine-tuning for novel video conferencing artifacts. The results reveal an interesting trade-off between domain-specific performance and generalization. The alternate freezing approach achieved my best performance on Zoom data with an AUC of 85%, but showed limited generalization to out-of-distribution samples, dropping down to 52% AUC on the celebrity deepfake dataset. Meanwhile, the gradual unfreezing method demonstrated better generalization, but slightly lower domain-specific performance. One of the most valuable outcomes of my research was identifying several real-world challenges that aren't apparent in controlled settings. For instance, I discovered that monitor glare from the laptop often creates false positives, essentially fooling the model into detecting artifacts that weren't actually synthetic. I also found that the model struggled with scenarios that included poorly lit subjects, portrait mode with black borders on the sides, as well as participants who were positioned far from their cameras. Looking at the results, you can see how my different approaches compare across metrics. I used AUC and AUPRC as my primary metric because they're threshold independent, providing a more reliable measure of model performance across different evaluation conditions. The red highlighted values indicate the best performance across my optimized strategies. Moving forward, I'm focusing on significantly expanding the size of the Zoom dataset, as well as the diversity of the challenging cases that I include in the dataset. This work demonstrates that while domain-specific deepfake detection is achievable, there's still significant work needed to bridge the gap between controlled testing environments and real-world deployment scenarios.